Breckenridge Port Cask Finish. Hi, WhiskyJason here. Whiskey from the viewpoint of an American living in Germany. My job is to, at least that's my self-given job title, or job description, is to test rare and exotic whiskeys which are very difficult to find in the English-speaking markets. And today I have something which I didn't think would be so difficult, but I didn't find hardly any, or I haven't found any real videos about it. Breckenridge Port Cask Finish. So I have a nice little sample here, 45%. Costs about $60 if you can find it. And I have no idea what my batch number was. No one wrote it on my bottle. So what the interesting thing is they take batches of 8 to 10 barrels, which would be very, very small. But please remember, these are tawny port barrels, 59 gallons. So 3 to 5 years, they just age their normal whiskey at 9,600 feet. And they use a mash bill of 38% rye, high rye, yay! 56% corn and 6% barley. They take their barrels 6 to 5 years old, and they put it in these tawny barrels from port and let it finish for another 6 months, or from 4 to 6 months. Now these tawny barrels are up to 20 years old. I have to read here. And they were originally in Portugal. Now my wife and I, for a couple of years ago, we were in Portugal. We visited some of the warehouses where they actually store and mature the different port wines. Port wine is just normal wine where they allow it to ferment, and then they stop the fermentation where a lot of sugar is still in there, and they fortify these wines. Fortify means they use industrial alcohol, usually I would say like vodka, and just put it up to a certain ABV, maybe 14%, maybe 16%, maybe even up to 18%. And then they let these fortified wines mature. Ruby is matured in stainless steel containers, and Tawny, Tawny, is matured in oak barrels, usually European oak, which is a lot more bitter, a lot more, a little bit more of a tingent or stringent taste than the American oak, which is more the caramels, more the sweetness, and so on. So, Breckenridge in Colorado somehow got their hands on some Port Tawny casks, maybe from the Napa Valley. Also the red wine sometimes use a port finish, and they took those and put their whiskeys in there and gave it a finish. So Breckenridge has their normal blend, has their reserve blend, have their 105 high proof, have their dark arts. Wow, if somebody has a little sample of that, they would send me. Hello, WhiskyJason@gmail.com. I would pay for it even. That would be great. And they also have the single barrel bourbon, which should be fantastic from what I've heard. All right, so what does my nose say? I'm not a great fan of port finished wines. I'm so sorry. And I have a lot of port. What can I say? There was a nice young high-rye whiskey in there. So in Germany, that's where I live, northern Germany, we have rye bread. Not pumpernickel, not 3-corn, whatever, toast. We have real rye bread. The bakeries in Germany are fantastic. Many bakeries pride themselves on having at least 80 different types of bread. Some even have up to 300, 400 different types of bread every day on sale. Amazing. And rye bread is one of the things we have here a lot. And so a rye whiskey, which I love, is something which is a high rye whiskey is something I also love. And then you put it in a port barrel, and I go, why? If you're going to finish it, use something I love, which would be, for example, I have a little sample here of Madeira. Madeira is also a fortified wine, which is fantastic. Marsala wine, fantastic for finishing. Sherry, fantastic for finishing. This is a bottle from Teeling. Teeling, if you know Cooley from Ireland, great. Brabazon, this is the Series 1. They actually matured their their whiskey in sherry casks the entire time. March 2017 is when this was bottled. Excellent, excellent stuff. Matured in sherry casks. Great, great, great. A sherry bomb from Ireland. Unbelievable. So, but we're in Colorado. Breckenridge Whiskey. Port Cask Finish 45%. And that's what I had on the nose. A mixture of this rye, high-rye whiskey with a lot of port. I think I mentioned this 2 videos ago, the only rye whiskey with port that I love, and I still have the wrong bottle here, is my Angel's Rye. This is the Angel's Bourbon, sorry. This is the rye which was finished in XO Caribbean rum casks, which is also an interesting, unique thing. So, the legs are really nice, by the way. Really, really nice. There's a lot going on in my mouth. There's this young rye whiskey, which is really trying to present itself in the best manner possible. Now, it's a high rye. And then there's these port. And the port is like a blanket that kind of covers this rye. And they're still fighting with each other about the dominance in my mouth. With the Angel's Envy, it was married. They complemented each other, and they just really helped to bring out more than they would have been by themselves. The feeling I have with Breckenridge, Port Cask Finish 45 proof, 45 ABV whiskey, is that they are more or less on top of each other, and they're constantly fighting with each other to see who dominate the taste. And every once in a while, and this is the weird part, I want to try this again. 1 second, please. Every once in a while, I have this tinge of an Islay whiskey. Just 0.3%. There's this little bit of smoke. And I might just be imagining it. But still, it's almost there. It might be pseudo smoke. But it's definitely something I've perceived and think that is there. It just might be the barrels that have been charred and extra charged. I don't know. This is not, for me, as someone who does not love port-finished whiskeys, a great whiskey. It's not. I'm going to give it a C-. Now, if you love port-finished whiskeys, and many people do, I have, for example, a Tomatin, 14-year-old port wood finish. Natural color, non-chill filtered, port wood finish. Last year I bought the bottle. I remember I was out on my patio. I just received it in the morning. I pulled out my glass. I poured it. I was like, oh, look at that color. It's even a little bit red. I nosed it and went, oh, look at that. I tasted it. I was like, wow, I paid all that much money for something I don't like? Interesting. What a shame. I think this was my real first ever port wood finish. And since then, I haven't actually really had one since, except the Angel's Envy. They did something right. Good job, Wes, Kyle, and Lincoln Henderson there at Angel's Envy. So, as I said, C-, $60 for a Breckenridge whiskey. Colorado, very difficult to get in the States, by the way, unless you're in the right state and you can get it. Try it if you like it. So, WhiskyJason here, whiskey from the viewpoint of an American in Germany. Thanks for watching, thanks for liking, thanks for subscribing, thanks for telling others about this interesting guy in Germany who's tasting rare and also exotic whiskeys. And today, since I only found basically one video online at all on YouTube about the Breckenridge Port Cask, I decided to make a video. How did you like it? Please write in the comments. Any other information you'd like to add, please also start the dialogue. That's a good thing there. Thank you very much. See you soon. WhiskyJason here. Bye-bye.